I'm Jordan Mechner. 30 years ago, I made a game called Prince of Persia. Now I'm releasing my 1980s game dev journals as a book. Ask me anything.
If I want to play the original now, where can I find it? Alas, the original pop is not officially available anywhere. But you can download and play it for free under emulation on Apple II, MS-DOS, Amiga, and many other platforms. Just don't say I told you to do that. I don't have links at hand, but I'm sure people in this forum do. How about it? Can you help this guy out? I'd be curious to know what formats are out there. I bet there are some I haven't played at all.
Where did you get that brutal sword slicing sound from? I wore out floppies loading that game hundreds of times. It was amazing for its time. Ha. You must be talking about the PC version. Broadband sound designer Tom Rettig was responsible for the audio of that port. It was a big step up from the Apple original, where sound effects could only be done by toggling the speaker. Was it $C030, and as much as I might have wished for brutality, fell somewhere between click and plop. I think he got the SFX from various libraries and then fiddled with them a bit, but Tom would know best. Tom also went on to lead a bigger audio team for the sequel, The Shadow and the Flame.
Is it sad that I loved that game but never even knew there was a sequel? How does a sequel to such a beloved classic not get advertising? Or maybe it did, but it definitely didn't reach me. Sorry to hear. The 1993 sequel was only on PC, it didn't get console ports. That might be part of the reason. The industry was changing fast, and between 1993 to 96 the attention of gamers shifted to real-time 3D in a big way. What's your favorite recent game to play? Last 5 years or so? Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
I've read that the original draft for The Sands of Time, the game, not the movie LOL, was scrapped, but couldn't find out why. What was the cause for this decision? Also, is there anything from that draft you wish had made it to the final product? I love the series BTW, thank you for all your work. I hope to see a comeback someday. Thanks. To clarify, your question is about the first story for the Sands of Time game at Ubisoft Montreal before I joined the team, right? When I came on board in 2002, I replaced the writer of that first draft. He moved to a different project, so we never actually got to work together on SOT. I kept a few elements I liked, but basically started over. There was no conflict. It's normal for game narratives to go through many iterations, especially at that early stage.
Dude, thank you. Your game was my favorite on the Game Boy. Such an amazing conversion. Which version do you think was the best? The Super Nintendo version was the most ambitious and added the most as compared to the original game. But I'd still have to say the MS-DOS version is definitive. The Amiga port by Dan Gorlin, which used the improved PC assets but much of the original 6502 code, is a close runner-up.
Did you beat the game? More times than I care to remember. The great risk for developers of endlessly playing our game to test and fix bugs is that it becomes easy, so then we feel like we need to add a bit more challenge. And so it gradually gets so hard that nobody else but us can play it, and then we think it's just right.
What's a trend in gaming today that you'd love to see go away? In-game purchases. I really thought we were finally done with that in 1980 when the industry moved from rolls of quarters to owning our own copies of games on cassettes.
Reflecting back, how does it feel to have your game go on to become a multi-million-dollar franchise and later inspire yet another multi-million-dollar franchise? Strangely remote. I'm happy, but the thing that feels most vivid and urgent to me is always the thing I'm working on right now.
Jordan, this could be seen your life's magnum opus. Looking back 30 years, what do you wish you could have done differently? Put all my royalties into Apple stock starting in 1984 and left them there. How did the upside-down version of Karateka on the other side of the floppy of the Apple II original came to be? Roland Gustafsson, the wunderkind who did the copy protection, and I walked into Doug Carlston's office and pitched it to him. We suggested that some people who put the disk in upside down by accident would think it was normal and all floppy disks worked that way. We never thought he'd actually go for it, since it would add to the cost of goods and reduce Broadband's profit per unit. But he did.